Thank you for choosing Call to Mercy. In this video, I want to take you in depth to Module 2 and show you a few more of the unique features of the online learning environment for your young people. As you'll see when you begin the module, you can begin anywhere, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, but most users will start at Module 1. And here you'll see our guides welcoming the young people back to their online learning module and setting up the next activity. Remember how I said that in this learning module, we begin to invite the young people to discern the difference between happiness and pleasure, and how oftentimes we confuse happiness with pleasure. Here's an example of one way that we lead young people through that discernment. We give them 10 scenarios. This is the first. And they have to decide if that for them is something that brings them happiness or pleasure. So we ask, spending time with the people you love, is that happiness or pleasure? I think about it and I make a choice. And I submit, and it gives me some feedback. And in this case, it's a rhetorical question. But notice what we're doing here. All we're doing in this activity is getting young people to stop, maybe for the first time, to think about happiness and pleasure. How are they different? And what is it that really leads to a sense of happiness in my life? How do you feel when you spend time with the people you love? So we're inviting young people to get in touch with that empathetic side of themselves. And this is a central part of becoming people of mercy. I'm going to go back and skip back here and show you another activity type. Here we'll go to the top 10 list. Remember how I said we introduce him to Pope Francis's top 10 secrets to happiness? Well, here's that activity. So we say, here's Pope Francis's top 10 secrets to happiness. Select the one you'd like to practice more in your life. I want you to notice what we're doing here. We don't ask them, do you like these top 10 lists? Which one do you like best? We're actually calling them to action. Select the one you'd like to practice in your life. So, in this activity, again, think about how in the past we'd have them read paragraphs of content. We're doing the same thing here, but disguising it, if you will, or really more truly putting it in a way that really engages young people in a mobile environment today, chunking the content. And in doing this, we find that young people actually read all of the content more and ponder it more deeply. So, you select the one that you want to practice more in your life this week. Let's say I select this. I submit. Now, remember how we said that in the online learning modules, you are doing it on your own, at your own time, at your own pace. But this shows you how you're not alone. After answering a poll like we just did, this is showing me all the results of everyone in my class that has already answered this question. I want you to notice a couple things about this. First of all, it's completely anonymous. I can't tell who responded in what way. That's really important for creating a sense of safety, because out of that sense of safety, young people will answer more honestly. Here's an example. Only one young person chose this answer, respect the faith of others, right? So in this way, no people can see what any one individual said. The other thing that's not obvious here, but the way it works, is you can only see the poll results after you answer the question yourself first. And that's really important also in helping lead young people to answer honestly and not get sucked into groupthink. And then that returns us to our guides. who then help us make connections to the next activity in the learning module. I'll quick show you Bishop Frank Caggiano in this module. Remember, our young people are introducing Bishop Frank. Here, Karen is saying, you know, when I was talking with Bishop Frank, he shared some things about this that really helped me think about things in a different way. And that sets us up and leads us to a reflection by Bishop Frank. We won't watch this video now, but because you have access to the program yourself, you can go in and watch all of these videos by Bishop Frank. Here's an example of a way that we process the content, the input that Bishop Frank provides to young people. We say, Bishop Frank just shared that the genius of being a Christian is not complicated. Do you agree or disagree with Bishop Frank that being a Christian is not complicated? Here's something I want you to notice about an activity like this. There's no right or wrong answer. Both answers require the young person to really think about that question. Is it complicated to be a Christian? It might be, but maybe it's not. Either way, the question and the activity type gets the young person to stop, reflect, and really think about the topic. So let's say I choose agree and I submit. It shows me, again, what everyone else in my class said. And I see that we all don't think the same thing. I wonder why that is. When I click continue, it takes me in a little bit further into reflection on that question. And it invites me to think about, what is it that sometimes makes it difficult to consistently act like a Christian in the world? Why is it sometimes hard to love God above all things and to love our neighbors as ourselves? And here I could type in an answer, and once I do, which I already did, I can see the answers from everyone in my class. Again, this is a short answer poll. Here's what I want you to see also, that you can't see, you can't tell who said this, said each thing. Again, it's anonymous, which creates safety and leads the young people to answer more honestly. In another video, I'm going to show you a way that as a teacher, you can see who of your students said what, but never can a student see that for themselves. This module happens to lead to a second catechesis video from Bishop Frank. So those are some of the in-depth features of Module 2 and helps give you a little bit deeper sense. Let me show you one last thing in terms of progress. Here inside a module, I'm able to see that if I've completed everything in an activity, I get a check in a round circle. But if there's an activity that I went through and I didn't complete everything, I get an icon like this, a circle with 3 dots in the center of it. That just tells me that there's something more for me to be done in that activity before I can consider everything in the module complete. Well, that's a deep dive into Module 2. I hope you find that helpful. And again, thank you for choosing Call to Mercy.